Hey, there we go. Somewhere I'm echoing. I don't know where that echo is. Hello, there we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be where you are. Welcome back to the live stream. My name is Jeff Fritz.
What mischief?
Oh, plenty of mischief, and I don't know where that echo is. It's there again, that second, but it disappears after this. I don't know where it is. My name is Jeff Fritz. Today is September 1st, 2019. Happy September. Welcome to the fall here in the States. We're going to write a little bit of code today. How's it going there, chat room? Thank you, Svava, for that cheer to kick things off. Oh my gosh.
Lannon just resubscribed for 13 months. Morning, Fritz and friends.
Good morning, Lannon. So good to see you. Thank you for that resub. I really appreciate that. And we'll make a donation to Coder Dojo all quarter long. That's July, August, September. Third quarter of 2019, we are making donations to Coder Dojo. They're helping to train trainers, build facilities all around the world so that folks just like us can learn how to grow our technical careers. Thank you so much for that. We are at 7496 on the follower count. For every 100 milestone that we get to, I'm going to send out, we'll raffle off a sticker pack. We gave one away on Friday because we had so many subs, so many gift subs, so many huge cheers. We'll give away another one today if we can get that up to 7,500. If we get that number to 8,000 before September 15th, I will dye my beard rainbow for .NET Conf and TwitchCon. That's 500 followers in 2 weeks. I don't think we're going to make it. But, nevertheless, we'll have a great time at both of those events coming up. Hello there, chat room. Let me say hi to a couple folks over here. Copper Beardy, hello. Good to see you. Tagaron, good afternoon to you. Let's see there. Stelzy, hello. Encoding, good morning in Chile. Welcome. So great to have you tuning in. Sean's here. Good morning. Let me get some music playing here in the background, and I want to talk to you about something that I've been struggling with. Talk to you about some of the feedback that I've had, and we're going to read another Stan soapbox that came across last night while I was sitting down and reading, and it really hit home with me when I read this last night. So today let's play. Oh, let's see. We're going to play music to code by, of course. Let's play. This is Yellow. There we go. Exactly, Lennon. Yep. This is music to code by from our friend Mr. Carl Franklin. It's music that's scientifically designed. It's engineered to get you in the flow, to get you in that state of focus where nothing else matters. All your other worries fall by the side, and you can focus on whatever task it is you might be working on, whether it's code, homework, reading documentation, learning a new programming language, or just doing house chores. It'll help you get focused, your worries will melt away, and you're going to have a great time doing whatever it is you're working on. mtcb.pwop.com. You can go there, you can purchase your copy of the songs. Thank you so much, Carl. We appreciate you letting us listen to your music here live on channel. If you tune in on Tuesday, we're going to have 2 shows on Tuesday. That second show at, I believe it's 1:30, we're going to be recording a podcast for .NET Rocks live on channel with Carl Franklin and Richard Campbell. So do me a favor, tune in on that day, and let's let Carl know how much we appreciate his music. All right. So yesterday I had a little bit of a struggle when I woke up in the morning. We're about 20 months into programming together, pair programming, mob programming here on channel, and it's something that I very much enjoy. It's so much so that it's become a significant part of my job. The folks that I work directly with see value, they appreciate, they know that we're doing something amazing here. We're connecting, we're making goodwill available to anybody, and we're showing all the cool things that you can do with some of these technologies here on stream. But there are other folks who want to know, want to see, want to understand how this stream can be connected to product downloads, product sales, these types of things. And quite frankly, that's not what I do. I am not a salesperson. I am not here telling you, hey, go buy product X. I'm going to tell you things that I enjoy using, and if you want to go use them, that's great. I'm going to I'm going to share coupon codes for those things that I do have coupon codes for, that to make it easier for folks to get access to some of the products that I enjoy, but I am not a salesperson. I'm not going to tell you, go buy this. I'm not going to tell you, you need to go download X. You need to sign up for service Y. But there is some appreciation from business folks that would like to see links, influence, conversions. But that's not what I do. So the discussion, no, not ominous at all, Ultramark. I think you're going to appreciate where we were going with this, because we had a very, very good discussion with the live coders yesterday on the team Discord, and the result of that, where I'm looking at going, is I'm going to add a segment to the stream, and it's not going to be for at least another week or two, because September is crazy busy for me. But what I'm looking at doing is adding a daily question, a daily support answer segment that can be isolated and lifted out and made available as a 10 to 15 minute video on a different website with analytics that go with it, with a bunch of information to not show sales, but to show support, to provide a searchable index of different questions and things that folks can learn from and use outside of the stream, and hopefully then also provide a place for folks to find information about the channel and come back to us. So this is how I'm going to turn that request on its head. I don't want to show revenue coming out of this for an employer. I want to show that it provides value by giving folks the education, the support, the learnings that they need in order to grow. And where this really hit home for me last night, I'm going to pull back the music just a smidge. I've made it clear that I'm a huge fan of Marvel. That's why I'm wearing my geek hat today. One of the reasons. I got my copy of, there it is, Magnificent Ms. Marvel this August. You can tell it's a real comic book, otherwise I wouldn't be able to do this. But in the magazine this month, they reprinted Stan Lee's comment, his column called Stan's Soapbox from December of 1968. And this was reading this last night was huge. It the timing is perfect for me, for what we're trying to do together on stream. And I'd like you to take a minute and listen while I read Stan's words from 51 years ago. And while he's talking about comic books, keep in mind what we're talking about here around live streaming. Stan writes, and I'm going to slightly change his words because to make them more gender appropriate. Stan writes, "The next time anyone puts you down for reading a comic mag, try hitting them with this little soliloquy which I've used on various radio and TV guest appearances in the past few months. Comic books are a medium of communication, just as television and motion pictures are. All three employ words and pictures, and all must be judged on their individual merits. A story is a story, whether presented between two covers or on a screen. If the words have dramatic impact, if the pictures are visually appealing, if the theme is emotionally relevant, then certainly it is worthy of a reader's attention. However, if the quality is lacking, then it rates little consideration. Isn't it this equally true of a TV program, a Broadway show, a motion picture, or any other form of entertainment? All we at Marvel ask is that our product be judged on the basis of quality, a quality which we sincerely believe is equal to that found in any other comparable media. Marvel Comics today are produced by the finest creative talent available. Read them first, and then decide. Excelsior," he writes. Stan Lee, December 1968, 51 years ago. I read that last night, and it hit home with me in so many ways. Folks look at Twitch and they think that this is just a gaming platform. Folks look at Twitch and they think this is what the younger generation watches and does. I think no matter what streaming platform you look at, Twitch or any of its competitors, this is interactive television. This is interactive video. This is where viewers can participate. And as a learning medium, it's something that nothing compares to right now, and I'm going to run with it. So, let me take a quick look back at the chat room. Let me see here. Ecomath says, my position has always felt very DevRel with a focus on early career devs. It is very DevRel. It's actually, I am a community product manager. A community product manager. Program manager. I'm on a team that engages and manages the community. This segment brought to you by Marvel. Yeah, a little bit. But those, Stelzy, I agree. They are some very wise words. Amazing that they're still sound 50 years later. Right there, his tone may be clearly from a generation ago, but amazing the impact still. Gareth says it's a social hangout, somewhere to chat and somewhere to get to know people. Exactly. Beyond just a broadcast medium, this is a social medium. Yes. Lennon continues, we as a medium in tech, creative, Twitch are trying to do more and use our abilities to help others. True. The essence is I am hoping people get something out of my stream that is positive. 100% true. I cannot agree with you more, Lennon. So, that's where I'm looking to go. That's what I'm looking to do. Keep an eye out. We'll be adding some of those segments, some of those learning segments here over the next few weeks as we grow and evolve the stream a little bit here. So, with that, I also want to share, we invited 11 new members to the Live Coders team Friday. We had invited 11 new folks. Graham Weldon is that, I'm not even sure how to pronounce this one, Shelps, The Primogen, Stoic Gaming, Smiles and Tea, Mossy Blogs, JF vs. Lewis, Rock Zombie, Trezzy Codes, Sika Player, and Josh Kupka have all been invited to join the Live Coders team. They write code live here on Twitch, whether it's for Netflix or with Kotlin or other game development, Grand Theft Auto, custom servers, JavaScript, Linux, you name it. There are some great folks out there that we just invited to join the team, and the Live Coders team now swells to 76 members. 76 members. Oh man, tremendous. And we're going to continue growing. There's actually there's a few folks that I forgot to put on that list that I need to invite still. We'll get around to that. We'll get them added in. 4 more followers until 7,500. Yes, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your pets. Sign up for Twitch, click through that follow button, and we'll give away another set of stickers here, maybe even later on in this stream. Gareth says we'll take over the world at some point. Oh yes, it's coming. You know what, Frank's here. Frank, I gotta put you on this roster. That is an oversight. How did we not get Frank on the roster? Can you give me a second here, chat room? I need to get an invite over there to Frank. Frank Bucheros is a tremendous streamer, and I need to get him on the team. Where is it? Members. How do I spell that? Frank is... There we go. Invite sent. Check your email, Frank. Let's get him on the team. Let's get a Live Coders entry over there for Frank. And can we get a shout out for Frank? Rainbow Beard coming soon, says Vlado. I don't think so. I don't think we're going to get to 8,000. Got to get there before September 15th. 14 days, look at that. Don't know. Yes, 12 new members. Oh, yes. So, all right. Thank you for the shout out. Okay, so talked about the hat, talked about the Red Stand Soapbox, the tweet, and this. I think we're ready to go. Okay. Let me head back over. We've been working on a project called the Pixel Bot. It was a bot that was originally written for our friend Quiltoni, and we've been extending and we've been adding features to it, and the goal was to make this a multi-tenant bot that can run in the cloud. We're getting closer and closer to that, and the next set of features that we've been adding are around setting up a follower service that'll track the number of followers for a channel. As we get new followers, send that information over so that we can trigger some sort of a widget or something, so that maybe it shows the latest subscriber and cheer like up here, or maybe it shows some sort of a widget or something. Our friend Imperial would like to have a follower train. So we're going to build a little bit of configuration capabilities and a user interface to allow submission of information to configure that train feature. And these are configuration things that we need no matter the widgets and services that we build, but this is also going to help us flesh out the things that we need in order to build a widget, so that hopefully we can publish this past a minimum viable product, but we can publish this and make it available for folks to start using within the next few weeks. So our other project, the resource management project, I'm doing a little scrubbing on that, and we will get back to that later this month. All right. What do you say, chat room? Let's head over to the code. Let's start talking about this. Let's get into the project a little bit. Let's not dwell and get lost. Get lost in that same...
What's with that echo?
Oh my.
Yeah, I know. It's fun. Vlado says, currently working on a prototype for a new multi-tenant website platform to replace current web forms. That's okay. Web forms is very, very stable technology with on .NET Core and make life easier. Very cool. Best of luck to you, Vlado. All right, so this is the project. This is where it is here. Let's copy out the link and let's set a project parameter here. Adding channel configuration capabilities to the Pixel bot at... There we go. And Frank's on the team. All right, Frank. Congratulations. Welcome. All right. Yeah, big hype for Frank. You know what we need to celebrate? Tacos. I don't know. That kind of makes sense. Welcome. It's so good to have you joining us. There it is. Thank you for the applause. Thank you, chat room, for the applause. That's very nice of you. Please, please. Thank you. Was that too much? Was that all right? What do you think?
People know me.
And people now know Frank too. So we've been working on this bot here. We have a couple issues out here that we've been addressing. We're working through this bit right here. We need stream configuration per stream to be made available, so that as folks log in, they need to be able to create and edit their configuration, very much in kind of like the problem that Vlado just described there in the chat room, very much in a multi-tenant type of model. So we'll have different configurations for these different streams when folks log in, whether it's Quiltoni and she wants to get her currency configuration and her currency management capabilities for her channel. That configuration is stored and managed in one place. When Imperial logs in and we have this follower train finished, she'll get that widget running with her configuration in another place, but it all runs using the same user interface. Hey, Source Scoot! You're certainly welcome to lurk for a bit. Good to see you. Source Scoot's another one of the live coders. You can find, welcome. Simon Jeering, hello, happy Sunday, bots. Yes, we're working on this bot today. 100% sentiment. Look at that right there. Look at that. We did it, chat room. Look at that. Thank you for the follow, Jonathan Delfrays. Welcome. We are 3 followers from our next sticker giveaway. If you're in chat, if you're watching the stream and you're not currently a follower, click that heart button up at the top. It's completely free to follow, and you'll get a notification every time I start streaming. And you'll help us towards this goal right here. Thank you so much. Is that logo here in the corner for .NET Conf way over here? Is that changing? I don't see it changing. It's supposed to be changing. There it goes. All right. Bot coding is fun. Yes. Yay for 100%. Look at that. JAF 1021 is here. Of course. We know who JAF 1021 is. I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it. I need to have an appropriate sound effect. I need to figure out a sound effect for when they join us here. I'll find it. Everybody.
Just resubscribed for 2 months. I support Jeff on Twitch. C# heart.
Thank you so much for that, Ultramark. No. Well, of course you're going to have sad faces. When it gets to 100%, the only place you can go is down. You can't have 110% satisfaction. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're like, what is it? What was the product that had 110% satisfaction? There was something like that. My sentiment goes up to 11. Because it's one more than 10. I don't know. I got to figure out a way to do that. 120% happiness. There you go. That's how good we are here on stream. In fact, I'm going to modify the widget there so it goes up to 120%. Just automatically add 20 to whatever comes in. So it goes up to 120%. I think that's a fine idea. It goes up to 11 because of an off by 1 error.
What'd you do?
It's an off by 1 error? I don't know. So maybe we could do that. So, and I should make sure it's clear. I'm not concerned with. It looks like some folks think that that I have a problem with the folks that I work for. I do not. I work for some amazing people, but there are segments of every business that want to know business value and put hard salesy marketing numbers to any investment, and that's something that I need to figure out how to provide. So. Eternal Dev Coder asks, is this Blazor? We're using server-side Blazor in that component model to make this happen. So, yes, it is Blazor. So, what was that? I thought I saw up there, Hoder. How much do I charge for reading goodnight stories? I'm trying to get back. I need to figure out when and how I'm going to get back into the reading streams. Maybe I'll do one tonight. Let me see how my schedule goes. I'll make an announcement on Twitter, and in the chat in Discord if I get to a reading stream tonight. If I get it lined up. Have I ever played with the HoloLens? Asks Greenie996. No, actually I haven't. Never worn one. Never tried one. It's not really accessible to me as a .NET web person. So, no. Never made available to me. The ruler of Romania in the late 80s that was elected by more than 100% of the voters, says Stelzy. Yeah, that's a problem. There are a lot of passionate people in any good company that breeds passionate discussions, says Gareth. If they didn't happen at times, I would really be worried. Absolutely. I completely agree. Thank you for sharing the Discord server, EcoMath. Yes. Yep. Greenie asks, I only do .NET Web. No, I also do, at a much smaller scale, .NET desktop applications. It's not typically something I've made my career on doing web with ASP.NET, but I have done WinForms applications in the past. WPF never really sat with me. I know we can write for HoloLens using UWP libraries. UWP I will not touch with a 10-foot pole. I have a significant ethical challenge with why UWP was created. So, yeah, I sometimes play with Python. I want to learn Python. I need to spend some time actually learning Python. So, But what ethical challenge do I have with UWP? It was a framework and a language that was created just because they didn't want to work with the .NET team. Literally, it was not created here. And they went and literally created the exact same things. When in fact, everything that was in .NET would work in those other places. And it's proven because you can put Windows Forms and WPF applications in the store. So, and there was already a very vibrant Windows Phone platform that worked very well with .NET. It was literally the vice president in charge of Windows trying to draw a line. And he's no longer with the company. So, UWP is not more universal. It's, in fact, less universal. That's the fallacy with UWP. It, in the name, means nothing. In a parallel universe, it could have been WPF and WinForms from day one, and WinPhone might not have died, asks Simon. I think it could have been WPF and Silverlight. Oh, wait, it was. And WinPhone might not have died. UWP isn't compatible with any native content, right? Native applications here on native interactions on your machine. There we go. That's better. Let's see here. Silverlight. Yes. Silverlight. The XAML that you could do with Silverlight laid the groundwork for what UWP was. So why reinvent it? Again, literally reinvent it, break compatibility. That's not a good customer experience. That's not a good developer experience. However, some people thought it was a good idea. So, all right, let's get back into the project here. User logins, create, edit configuration, and instruct a bot to join a channel. Hey, Copperbeardy, thank you so much for that cheer. 3 others in chat just got food fight emotes. Yeah, look at that. Look at all the emotes going flying by. Terrific. And I'll make a donation to Coder Dojo. Every month, whoever leads the chat high score tote board on the top of the chat that you see there, the cheer tote board, they'll be invited back to do a live stream with me. Michael Jolly, Robert Tables, Carrie Payette are all on the list to be invited back, and now I'm going to add Clinton Rock Smith to that list. I'm going to send out some invites. We're going to get this done in the next few weeks here in September. Thank you so much for that support. All right, let's talk about this. So we need to start adding these configuration capabilities, and we have now the ability to have new followers detected using a follower service actor that we built last time on stream, and this should all build properly. And come back and show. Right? I'm looking for that build successful over there. Right, there it all goes. I shouldn't be the one saying that. It should be. There she goes. Yeah. So, come on. There's the web application done building, and the relay isn't really part of this. Why is it saying identifier expected? Ah, this in here. Oh. We were updating this to, we were going to update this to notify all the new followers that were detected. We should do that real quick. Let's see here. So the list of followers that are detected come back in this E parameter here. So let's for each new follower in E new followers. Let's move this up into there, tab it over. So we're gonna say new follower on channel, and we will say not E new followers. First, we will say, wow, that's not spelled right at all. Let's fix that spelling. That's better. That was a rename refactoring there that automatically goes and sets that properly. Oh, see now, if I say from user ID or to user ID, it's going to give me a user ID coming out of this, right? That's not going to be right. Right? That's a property. Okay. So we would want to convert that from a user ID into a username. Rats. I can do this to convert those, but I feel like I would want to pass in a collection of user IDs and get back that mapping. Right, so actually I could return response users, which is a collection of user objects. Let's do that. And then I can sort through that, right? Users is a user collection. Why doesn't it like that? Oh, look at that. TwitchLib API Helix models users. TwitchLib API, no. Helix models users. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to want to pass in a collection of user IDs. So let's allow it to pass in an Enumerable. User IDs are string. We'll call this user IDs. And we'll get users. This will be user IDs to list. Because it needs to be a, right? This wants a list? Yeah. All right. All right. So now I'm going to get back a collection of users. So what I should do is get that collection of users first. Hoder Coder asks, who is your favorite Disney princess? I haven't thought about it. Leia. Princess Leia. There you go. Okay. So if I say users equals, we need to convert user ID, convert user ID to username, pass in a collection of user IDs. So that's going to be E, new followers, select, F, to user ID. Right? What does from user ID do? That's not clear to me. I guess to user ID? And it'll give me back a user ID? I guess. Maybe. In which case I need to get that user, var this user equals new follower, no. Users first, where the user, no. I want to find the user where you dot, you really, you're not going to tell me what the things are in there? Oh, I need to do an await on that. Son of a gun. How can we do this? All right, we'll make this synchronous. Get awaiter, get results. Now I know what those are. Yeah, the user ID equals new follower to user ID. So now this user is actually that user, so I can say new user this user display name. Bingo. No, better than bingo. It's
Bazinga.
Can somebody explain what is enumerable? Asks Ghost 131312. Gareth is right. It's anything that can be used in a for each loop. An enumerable is a forward-only collection by default. An enumerable, like you see. Oh gosh, there aren't any. I don't have one here, but an array, a list, a hash set. Those are enumerable. You can for each across those. You can enumerate them. But particularly, they're a forward-only collection. When you have a list or an array, right, you can put things into those with different behaviors and different memory management. Rama Hello says, hello C# Doctor, welcome. Their naming of 2-user ID is a bit wonky. Yes, completely agree. Named that way, it should be a method, not a property. Completely agree, Stelzy. That looks weird. So, alright, that should clear it up. Now I'll have this message going back over to my channel actor, and I can handle that and do something with it. I don't know what to do with it yet because I don't have configuration. I need to figure out the configuration of what we'd like to do with that. And let's do that next. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, is that Rama? Hello? Welcome. Appreciate you joining us. And I've already seen you in the chat room. That's great. 2 followers away from our next sticker giveaway. Oh, man. I love giving away stuff on stream. So, yeah, I think everybody's received their... Well, the stickers that we raffled on Friday, I haven't mailed out yet, but all the other ones have been mailed. So everybody that's won them up to this week should get one. Copperbeardy asks, private variables, should they start with an underscore, lowercase, or uppercase? Private, for me, I want these private fields to start with an underscore. The uppercase ones here, I'm okay with that. No, Copperbeardy, unfollowing and refollowing doesn't help. It'll mess up this gauge here, but I've got the official Twitch one here, right? And that's the one that I use. So, all right, moving along here. So this is our channel actor. This is a class that actually manages the interaction with Twitch, right? Whether it's the bot receiving messages from the chat room or now receiving new follower detected information and going from there and processing. We're probably going to end up refactoring this little bit to make it easier to pass along information about who those new followers are. Because, let's face it, this little song and dance that I had to do here to convert user IDs to names, that's a pain in the neck. I don't want to do that. So, we want to make it easier to pass into here and get the follower name and trigger features that will actually go and do something with that. And the feature that we're going to create is this idea of a follower train. Take it easy there. Last couple messages in the chat room are borderline. All right. Let's keep things family friendly. All right. I don't mind having a little fun, but I want to make sure that everybody feels welcome. I don't want those are borderline. All right. So, all right. So we'll flesh this out a little bit further as we actually implement the widget, but I want to implement this concept of a follower tree. Now, Imperial's going to give us a list of requirements for what this should be. I think we can do something simple just to get something started. And I think when we talk about Hoder Coder says I would tell you a UDP joke, but I'm not sure you'll get it. Now. The networking jokes, here they come. So, when we think about what a follower train is, right? A follower train is a way to encourage new followers to join, to keep up with the, there's actually a couple different ways to do it. There's a follower train, there's a sub train, there's a cheer train, but the idea is that folks continue the action, continue one of those three actions within a certain time period to keep the train growing. And a train can grow either visually with something physical, maybe there's actual train cars that are being attached and it goes across the screen. But when I look at its simplest method, it's just a number, it's just a counter that is going up and showing this is how long we've been keeping the train going, with a timer that counts down to whatever that time period is that we want to continue encouraging the train to go. So we need the counter for the current length of the train, right? That's in memory. That's not something we need to persist. We need a timer for the duration, maximum duration between actions. That's a configuration thing. And we will also want to provide, right, whatever, what action are we tracking to keep the train going. That's a configuration thing. I'm going to finish writing these last couple of configuration things and I'll take a look at the chat room. We also want, right, what does the appearance, right? There's some concept of appearance. What images, colors do we show for different states of the train? Is there a record, right? That'll be something, right? Maximum achieved train length. That's something that'll be stored in configuration along with the date and date achieved. Yeah, there we go. I think that's a good set of features to start. Just to start that initial. Let me flip over here, take a look at the chat room, see what's going on. Simon says, regarding naming conventions, do what you like, but please make it consistent with what is in the code base. Yes, completely agree. Right, you see I'm using the underscore configurations here. That's fair, right? I go up here and I look. These, it's telling me naming rule violations. There is a way to push that naming rule into editor config. I don't see it here. But there is a way to do it. If I go tools, options, so I have set up here naming, private or internal field. Come on, Visual Studio. What is this? Can we get this? So I added a rule here, starts with underscore. Right, there it is. I added this for private or internal fields. And you can set the severity so that it'll break your build if it doesn't abide by it. I thought there was a way to export this. Your editor config file might try to override. I want to export. I want those naming rules saved out for me. Yeah, Rosalind analyzers do let you do those types of enforcements, but editor config should let you do this as well. Here. Right, naming conventions. Symbols, constant fields applicable. No. Constant fields. No. I don't want a constant. Yeah, it's not clear to me. Formatting, C# style. These are code style. The naming convention. .NET naming rule. Is that available? So this is a private or internal field, right? See, I don't even see .NET naming rule here. Formatting. I don't know where it goes. Right. .NET naming rule title, severity, symbols, style. Okay. What's the naming rule title? No. This feels like it needs a little bit of help. It's one or two folders up in the settings. Let's take a look, see real quick. There's code style, general, generate editor config. Aha. Yes. So does it have my underscore rule in here? That was cool. It'd be nice if there was a link back to be able to do that. Right? I don't want to search for underscore. Here we go. Naming styles. Interface should begin with I style. Yep. Private or internal field should start with underscore. Style starts with underscore. Okay. Where's that? Right? Ah, okay. There it is. There's the naming style. Good. All right. That's cool. So that'll now enforce so that, right, these now will be available to fix, right? And because it's and the reason I wanted to do editor config is that this will be available no matter which editor you use. If you do it with a Rosalind analyzer, yes, it runs on builds, but it also, right, you need to code it. You need to write code to make that happen. Where editor config just happens as part of your code editing experience. I'm happy with that. That looks much better now over here. And we'll figure out other places where that's violated and fix it throughout our code. So, let me roll back here a little bit and continue with chat. So the term follower train is not the proper name for it, more of a viewer engagement train. For the general widget that I'm creating, I think you're right, Stelzy. It is a viewer engagement train. Good point. It is a viewer encouragement train. I know I've seen Harris Heller. He's the stream doctor. You'll see him. He's the Alpha Gaming channel on YouTube. We've learned a lot from him. I've learned a lot from him watching his YouTube channels, watching his stream. His follower train is built on subscribers. It's a sub train. So he tries to get more people to subscribe to his channel when he puts the train up. And that's fine. That's not something that I want to encourage. So, does the first person in the train become the driver and get a Casey Jones hat? Asks Blazer Mr. Magoo. That's not bad. That's pretty cool. I don't know. I think there might be something when we think about these features, right? When the image is colors, right? I think there's something to be said here for every X number of actions triggers a different appearance. Every X number of actions grants VIP access to the actor if they don't already have it. So, hey Frackberg, good to see you. All of that being an editor config seems a bit like someone forced it in there with a pry bar compared to the general nature of original editor config. I think it's moving there, and having those configuration rules available. It's moving there. You're right. It is a little forced right now, but it's getting a little bit better over there inside of Visual Studio. Okay. So let's figure out how we can do this viewer engagement train, and I'm wiring it up to followers first because it's easier to make that happen. And right, eventually we'll be able to light it up with cheers and subscribers in the future. But let's see if we can make followers happen. I think that's a simple metric that we can go after. And once we have this configuration working, we have the configurable cheer bar that we worked on with our friend Fairy Wings. This configuration will be able to lift and take the storage of this configuration. We'll be able to apply the same logic to what we did with Fairy Wings and her customizable cheer bar, and bring that into this, and we'll have both features working. Stelzy says, I got the impression that the Visual Studio folks are actively working with the editor config guy to get as many functions in it as possible. I don't know if they're actively working with the editor config folks, but the Visual Studio folks are using the extensibility model of editor config so they can define their own capabilities that will be applied, will be enforced in Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code, so that you can have well-formatted code for .NET. Folks in Python, folks in Java, in other languages can certainly extend that editor config syntax to support formatting and features for their languages appropriately. Are we at 100% again? Oh my goodness. Sentiment is amazing. And look at that, down to 64. Thanks, Rambling Geek. Thanks.
Do it live!
And now it's not 100%. It's good. It needs to be standards-based so everyone comes along in the same direction together, says Simon. Yes, and that's why they're using editor config, right? These features, right, they're clearly extending using their own namespaces here with the underscore, right? C# language underscore, .NET underscore, right? To push and encourage things that are specific just for that programming language, just for that feature. The standard ones, right? These ones up here, those are all standard features of editor config. You can take this into any other editor that understands editor config, and these first 5 features will be applied. If you take them and drop them in an editor and you're editing Python, it's going to ignore all these other things. It doesn't know what these things are. And that's okay. That's a good thing. Sorry. Yes, sorry indeed. All right? You broke it, Rambling Geek. 2 followers to go. That's all we need. We'll do another sticker raffle here. Hey, CJ Harbitch. Well, thank you. I appreciate the kind words. So we just have this follower service actor here. Let's add configuration for these couple of things here. So if we're going to define a feature for this, which will have configuration that goes with it. We started with this concept of what a feature is. Down here in our core project, we have a feature. And a feature has different events that activate it. Right, if we look at this attribute, you know what? I didn't put a comment on what this thing does. I don't think I want it necessarily on the interface. You know? Let me just comment that real quick. Let me see where else this is used. 5 times. Where else is it used? Yeah, please. Okay, now only 4 times. Where? Fine, open it. Show me. Why didn't it show me in the pop-up there? Okay, so this is where it's bootstrapping. That's fine. And on the chat room feature. Okay, so I don't need it on the interface. Let's get rid of it off the interface. I can delete that. So this interface says, here's how to configure this with some configuration. We don't know where it's coming from yet, but we're going to wire that up. Nothing to read. Eternal Dev Coder, thank you so much for that cheer. 100 bits, and we will make a donation to Coder Dojo. I'm going to take your bits and Copper Beardy's and put it in with the next bit of code that I write here for this viewer engagement train feature that we're just about to start. Thank you so much. And now you fixed it. Yes, now you fixed it. Now we got it way up there. Not tacos, tacos. Yes. All right. So a feature has some configuration. It has a name. It's visible. And this name is really so that we can display it on some sort of configuration screen. We're going to have to build that too. Is it visible? I'm not sure what is visible. Is it visible to be configured? Let's put some comments with this so we know what the heck these things are. Is this feature visible to be configured on every channel? Is this feature enabled for this channel? For the current channel. Okay. Register routes so that we can wire up Signalar capabilities. This is the key method, right? Trigger some action on Twitch has triggered this feature. Yeah, is triggering this feature. Let's just leave it like that. String notification content of what triggered the feature. So right now, we started setting this up with the concept of a chat room, and this is the chat message that came in. Broadcast message and whisper message, these are actions that the feature can broadcast out, right? From whatever has instantiated it. These get wired up inside of our thing. Inside of our actor, so that the feature can broadcast to the chat room or whisper a message to the chat room to a specific person. Tokos. Yes, Tokos. I should put that. Delegate that allows the feature to broadcast a message to channel. Same thing. Delegate that allows the feature to whisper a message to a specific chat room participant. There we go. All right, that makes it a little bit easier. Connor Wright Kappa, hello. Welcome. What if the trigger of the feature isn't triggered by something from Twitch or maybe a Twitter post? It's a good point. It's a very good point, Stelzy. let's parking lot that idea, because that's going to significantly expand our requirements here. I don't want to grow scope too much here. So let's open an issue in the repository to discuss that, because that's absolutely something that we will want to support in the future. Let's come back to that. There's absolutely something there. So, all right, there is a base feature configuration that's going to be supplied here that has a channel name, whether or not it's the owner has configured the feature. Does the owner have access to this feature? Yes. And be able to load from JSON and assign to properties. Okay. With the expectation that this is going to be overwritten. Which tells me this should be like an abstract feature, right? So right now under channel configuration, we have get feature configuration for a feature name, return new base feature configuration. And this is, right, we need to figure out how to appropriately load this from whatever data source that we have for channel configuration. This might even come from somewhere completely different, right? So we want those feature configurations to be available here. Right, because look, I even started wiring up the guessing game that we had from the original Pixel bot with just a true false. Is this enabled? That's lame. Let's see here. So I think we're going to end up doing a little bit of refactoring in here so we can store this in, it feels like it's going to end up being like a NoSQL data store, like a MongoDB or somewhere else that I can store data in JSON format specific for each channel. You know what I mean? Chat room, what do you think of storing data, configuration data like this that's a bit unstructured, but storing it in a relational data store, right? Very table, columns and rows oriented, or in a NoSQL, very flexible document data store. And I'll tell you, my initial thoughts looking at this, where I want to persist this in some other data storage, I want to use like a MongoDB, a document storage for these. What do you think here? Rambling Geek says, yeah, document storage. No SQL until I've finalized the structure, suggests Snoopaloopy. Big Fat Elvis. Hey, Big Fat Elvis, welcome. Not compared to the 60s slimmer, more athletic Elvis. Thank you very much. Software with Rider agrees with NoSQL. Folks are saying NoSQL. Had the same thought about storing config data in a NoSQL database, says Stelzy. Simon says it depends. I agree. There is very much an it depends type feature here, discussion here. I think there are things around user access that and user construction for this application that should be relational, but this configuration feels very document based. Frank suggests using an Azure storage table. That's one type of document storage, yes, that we could use. Simon says Simon, listen to me. Simon says, it sounds like we're playing a game there. No, not going to start that yet. If we have a relational database already, do you want to add a second technology? I have a relational database for managing... I don't have a relational database for managing users, and that's being stored in Auth0. So I don't have a database locally yet. I just have this channel configuration context that right now is just some information about a bunch of different channels, literally being returned as a collection of configurations. But these things, right, and I purposely made this not connected to any database technology. These could be coming from Mongo, Azure Storage, Cosmos, choose your favorite NoSQL database. So I'm not married to any technology yet. Thank you for the follow, Wing0079. Appreciated that. We are 1 follower away. Who's going to click through and get that follow through? I've got a stack of .NET stickers that I will give away. I will raffle off. There it is. Software with Ryder. Thank you so much for the follow. You are follower number 7,500. Software with Ryder. Congratulations. Yeah, there's a little bit of hype there.
Oh my.
We just broke a milestone. We just broke a milestone, chat room. Can we take a second and appreciate that? 7,500 followers. That is a tremendous community. Thank you very much for all those follows. Thank you, Software with Ryder, and thank you, Wing0079, for clicking through and taking us over that number there. I see somebody's out there playing games, clicking and unclicking out there. Yes, thank you so much. And Big Fat Elvis, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate that as well. Very much appreciate all of our followers. You'll get notifications whenever we go live here. Just like on Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. I'll be back streaming. I'm going to be going to all morning streams on my schedule with school starting up here. But Tuesday afternoon, Carl and Richard from .NET Rocks. Carl wrote the music we're listening to. Will be joining us. I need to start a giveaway. Oh, just one giveaway. And then we'll get back into the code. UNT Walker won our last sticker pack. If you're in the chat room, if you'd like to win a collection of stickers, there are various emotes, .NET bots, even the Super C# logo, execute ! here in the chat room, and we will get you in the list of participants here. You can win. It's a collection of stickers. I will send them anywhere in the world. Doesn't matter where you are. I've sent stickers to the UK. I've sent stickers to Central Europe, to Russia. It doesn't matter where you are. I'll send them to Asia, India, Australia. I am happy to send that out as a thank you for your support and for all of our followers here on Twitch. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you tune in, twitch.tv/C#Fritz. There's a link in the description below. And you help us out with following here. Help us grow this community. You can win some stickers. I'm happy to send those out to you. And there are times when I do have bigger giveaways. We've given away G Fuel. We've given away Xboxes. I think we gave away a Surface Go on a stream during build. Okay? All kinds of great stuff, but the only way you can win is if you watch live. Is that it? Anybody else? ! Here. We gave away Stream Decks. You're right, Robert Tables. We gave away a handful of Stream Decks. Yes, absolutely. ! Here puts you in the chat, in for the raffle. Thank you. Love the Lash tools. So much fun. They really are. Thank you for the follow. Last one here. Welcome. I appreciate that. Who needs Oprah when you have Fritz? And you get some stickers, and you get some stickers, and you get some stickers. Absolutely. For sure. Bees. No. And nobody said the word containers, and Robert Tables appeared. If you say containers 3 times fast, he appears. He just appears in your channel. It's amazing. You get tacos and you get containers. Actually, aren't tacos just a container for spicy meats and vegetables? Taco shells? And they're so delicious too. It's amazing. All right. I think it's about time. There's a delivery device for it. Tacos are just a base image, says Robert Tables. That's deep. That is, think about that one. Deep thoughts with Robert Tables. Come on, I have it here. No, I can't find the movie clip fast enough. Rats. Deep thoughts with Robert Tables.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
And now you know. Pizza. Nah. Hey, thank you for coming to Robert's TED Talk. All right.
Oh my.
Let's do this. What do you say we run the raffle? Here we go. Oh yeah. Good luck to everybody. Round and round it goes. It's such a fun little gimmick, the lash tools. It really is. Every time you hear this, you see Quiltoni dancing with her dog. She does. It's a thing on her channel. It absolutely is. CJ Harbish, congratulations. I'm going to drop you a whisper. And I will send out the stickers. There we go. Drop me a line there. I just sent you a whisper. Reply to that, and we will get those sent out. Thank you so much, everybody, for participating. I'm actually the wizard, the winner. I don't know if I'd go that far, but thank you. Yes, congratulations. Drop me a line with those, and I'll be over at the post office Tuesday morning and sending a couple of those out. I'm a wizard? No, I'm not a wizard. No. Congratulations. How's the closed captioning looking today? We're using the new closed captioning plugin. No, not Scott. Scott isn't helping with this. There we go. All right. Turn the music back up. So, where were we? We were talking about data storage, NoSQL. I think NoSQL does make sense with this, and I think Robert Tables might be onto something. Maybe we do, just to get started, maybe we do MongoDB running in a container. Because that would be real easy to set up. We have they call them collections in MongoDB, that we store, right? We have, for our key, we'll have our channel name, and the collection will just be a JSON document of channel configuration. What do you think? Simon has a link to simplify the management of application configurations with Azure App Configuration. While I very much appreciate the article about Azure App Configuration and the use of feature flags, my problem with this is this couples me to Azure. If I ever want to run this locally, I can't. Because you're on Azure. And one of the requirements that some of our friends have that want to be able to use these capabilities, that this bot is, they'd like to be able to run it completely isolated and local on their machine. So running with Mongo as an initial test to get things built, hiding behind this configuration context, I'm okay with. This works very well for me. So in an effort to not be too coupled to Azure, and I can certainly swap out this interaction and I purposely made this in I context. We could certainly drop in, here's how to work with Azure data storage, Azure table storage, Cosmos DB, whatever. I'm going to go with something a little bit more generic, and I think Mongo might be a good way to start. Frank likes the captions. That is not one of my bots. That's not a Twitch extension. It's a plugin for OBS. I put a link on Twitter a couple days ago. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can find it real quick. For that OBS extension, it is. Where'd it go? It was a really good one here from. There it is. The OBS plugin is right there. I need to document that and get that more accessible to more folks. I also need to get Frank a link to the team Discord. Yeah, definitely need to do that. Continuing on here, Robert Table says, perfectly fine to do that locally, avoids polluting the system, stays local and fast, running Mongo in a container. I think that might be a good way to go with this. Simon says, if this isn't going to be multiple tenant rather local host, go for a small object database. I keep using multi-tenant with it. But it's multi-tenant-ish, because each streamer is going to have their own specific channel configuration, which makes it sort of multi-tenant. What about LightDB? Not familiar with LightDB. SQLite, that type of database is also very good as well. It is a container only. You're right. And wanting to install as run it just in containers. I completely agree. A good way to do that. This is .NET Core, yes. Do you even need a DB? Would a file be enough? A file would be. Light NoSQL for .NET. Nice. Interesting. A simple JSON text file would be minimum viable. Why would you introduce a container plus document DB and then require backups just for one JSON file? That's not a bad idea at this point either, Blazer, Mr. Magoo. You're not wrong. Just have a folder of JSON files, and each JSON file is named for the channel that is being managed. CJ is agreeing with that. Yeah. It's not a bad idea. Just to get minimum viable. It's not wrong. It's not bad. Because you're only ever really going to have one person editing their own JSON file at a time. I don't think we would see a time when you have two users editing their same channel configuration, at least to start. So, it's interesting. We're going to call it a flat file, even though it's a JSON file, which in its very nature is hierarchical. As long as you don't hard couple to that idea, don't see why we can't do that and defer scaling decisions. Yeah, all right. I think we've got some great ideas from chat. Let's do that. No, not nested file. No, that's a really bad idea. Really bad idea. Let me see here. Let's do this. Just okay. I thought I saw something on the Twitters. The Twitters? Yeah, adding a full database post minimum viable would be a nice way to do that. So this is just a default, right? Something so I could get some channel configuration and have something stored here so I could bring back and have some configuration to light up. Clearly, the list of configurations, right, that I have here in an in-memory repository, I'll just turn into a folder on disk called configurations that I can write into. Yes, any file, Simon! Fritzy, don't play that. You know what I'm saying? Any files makes me think about all the acronyms and things, abbreviations, and you start sounding like this.
Seeing as how the VP is such a VIP, shouldn't we keep the PC on the QT? Because if it leaks to the VC, you can end up in MIA, and then we'd all be put on KP.
That's confusing. Let's make it JSON with very expressive object names, and we can just use Newtonsoft JSON to serialize and deserialize our configuration. And at that point,
boom goes the dynamite.
Don't write it to the registry. What? Are you kidding? No.
You got the wrong guy. I'm the dude, man.
I don't write to the registry. I'm the dude. I'm going to use JSON. It's easier that way. All right? Look, any files...
Wait, Master. It might be dangerous.
It might be dangerous. BSON. Oh, now you're just getting carried away there, Gareth. Look at the trolling. Look at the configuration file trolling. Why don't I store it in XML? CSV. YAML. Oh, don't give me YAML. Don't give me YAML. Look.
You have no idea what you're dealing with.
You don't. You have no idea. All right? System text JSON. No, I would use Newtonsoft JSON. So, SOAP requests. Stop it. Stop it. All right, so let's start figuring out how we're going to... Let's work on how we can create these. I'm going to call this file storage channel configuration context. I could just call this file. Nah, file storage is fine. I don't care. I'm never going to see this class name except for in startup. And this is an iChannel configuration context. And it doesn't matter. I just have get configuration for channel. At some point, I need to write save configuration for channel. But that day is not today. Stored in memory, says Vlado. Oh, Vlado. There it goes. Yeah, come on now. Configuration files. These are one of the developers' favorite things to discuss, isn't it? So if I create a folder just called config, if I would want to put that under, where do I want to put that? Right, if I just have configuration, that's not what I wanted. That was wrong. What the heck am I doing? No! Delete it!
Shame! Shame! Shame!
I've angered Visual Studio.
Shame! Shame!
Seriously? What the... Holy crow! I wanted to delete a file and now I'm in the ring of patience here. Right? Look at this. I've got to kill it. It won't die. Thank you. That was weird. Go back to that project. Yoyar says, I love Visual Studio. I do too. And it's, we always run preview versions of Visual Studio here, so we can try some of the new features, so we can hopefully try and detect some bugs before they hit the RTM versions. And that certainly felt like one. Let me go back up here. So I wanted to create a folder called configuration, and I didn't. All right, here we go. Add new folder. There it is. Configuration. There's a comment here in the chat room. Could those not just be in the app settings JSON file? Yes. But I'd like to take just one more step with it so that I have those files laid out on disk. If I put them in app settings JSON, they're going to get confused with the entire services configuration. By starting at least this first piece of writing them to disk in their own files, I've got it separated. Let's wrap it in some kind of abstraction so it can all be swapped out later. Yes. And, right, that's what I'm doing right here. Oh, it didn't even save. Right, this is an I channel configuration context. Right, this is the abstraction right here. Boom. And all I'm going to do is say Newtonsoft JSON persisted serialize, deserialize. There it is on disk. That's all I'm going to write. So I don't have to think about how these things live or sit out there, right? So I know the folder location is configuration, right? Yeah, I know you're not returning a value. Right, so if I have a CTOR here, I'm going to need to return a high host. What is it that'll give me the stuff on disk? Just so I have a pointer to the disk information. It is not iService collection. No. I think it's iWebhost environment. I think is what will give me the reference to disk. Because I want to get a pointer to the folder. Yeah, all right. Simon agrees with this little bit of wrapping that we're doing here. Just to have the simplest storage, and we can grow it, we can change it, and it's just sitting on disk, and eventually we'll move it into a NoSQL storage solution. So write our storage folder, and I'm trying not to make this complicated. If I say content root file provider, it gets me a file provider pointing at the content root path, which will be the top level of the application, right? And I don't want to get directory contents. I don't want to watch. No. Then that's not where I want to be. Content root path is a string. If I get that, right? New directory info on that, right? And if we get the child directory, is it get directories and specify a single? There we go. So the search pattern I want is configuration. So now that, yes, let's create that. It's a read-only field. So there's, right, that's the folder that contains it. You need to make sure you have write permission. Make sure it's somewhere you have write permissions for. Sure. Make sure it is not null before you. Are you kidding? Really? This is going to be injected. Show potential fixes. Sure. Add argument name path. Really? Wish you would tell me what these things are here. But I also feel like that's getting a little... Moving on. Get configuration for channel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and load the full file that has the name of that channel, .json, and cast it back, deserialize it back to a channel configuration, and return it. Ecomath asks, is there a reason to use Newtonsoft over the .NET Core 3 native JSON serializer? And that is a way wrong answer there, Fritzbot. I thought we cranked that up to like 40%, 45% certainty. Way wrong. The only reason to use the Newtonsoft one is that's the one that I'm comfortable with and I'm very familiar with the API. The new .NET Core 3 native JSON serializer is supposed to be significantly... It's supposed to be faster. I'm not concerned about speed at this point. I'm concerned about speed of me writing this just so I've got something prototyped and working. So, the new JSON is immature, says Blazer Mr. Magoo. Okay. I'm not concerned about it yet. So let me... I'm going to need to find the file, right? So the config file is going to be storage folder, get files, right? And I'm going to look for a file that is called No, inside there. Channel name dot JSON. Let's make that, let's force that to lowercase. To lower invariant. Right? That way it's always, no, really? Returns a copy in method, replace the call to lower invariant with to upper invariant. No. I like to lower. I don't. Validate that it is not null before using it. Where is it? Argument null exception. Name of channel name. Alright, happier about that? No, evidently not. I don't know why I'm getting this one. That doesn't make sense to me. Can a channel name consist of illegal path characters? No, actually it cannot, Cryptic Coder. It cannot. That's a feature from Twitch that we are fortunate to be able to rely on. Alright, so we're going to get files and try and find that one. First or default. If config file equals null, I'm going to return a new channel configuration with the defaults. Otherwise, I should deserialize that JSON file and return that as a channel configuration. So return, what is it, JSON serializer. Do I have to create it first? I do. Create default. Haha! Deserialize. I need to give it a text reader so that it knows where it's going. Okay. Text reader equals new JSON text reader. I need to give it a text reader to do that. Ugh. Fine. New text reader. This needs to be a string reader, doesn't it? No. If it's a text reader, can I give it the file name? No. Why am I blanking on how to do this? Well, the is null or empty, I can change that to, right? Is null or white space. There. I like that. Right, I just want to read the file. There's, right? JSON read file from disk. JSON.net. There it is. Read JSON from a file. Stream reader file open text. JSON reader, new JSON text reader, JToken read from. Well, okay. Do that. File open text, and I'll give it the config file dot full name, so it gets the full location of where that thing is. Out config equals yeah, and this is a channel configuration we're going to return. So that's a stream reader. I should turn that. That's fine. Right, so JSON text reader is around that. So I can say out config equals, right? And I had that JSON serializer, create default, deserialize. The text reader is now text reader. And I don't want to specify the type, isn't it? I thought there was a, there it is. So now I'm using the generic version there, so the deserialized knows I want a channel configuration from this text reader that contains that file, that references that file. Why doesn't it like this? Called dispose. Fine. You want me to dispose you? How's that? Return app config. Alright. Huh? I think that works for us. I don't like how that... I don't like that at all. I don't know what either one of these. CA 1308. Okay. Silent. Go away. Not supported exception. Nice. Shouldn't there also be checked if there are only... Yeah, we already took care of that. Hey, Big Fat Elvis. Welcome back. So this will get the configuration for a channel and make it available. We should also write the save method here. Right? Void save configuration for channel. We're going to pass in the name of the channel, and we also want to pass in the channel configuration to save. Right? Which means over here, if I control dot, I'll get that method to implement. And we'll also need to put it in the other default one that's over here, because this doesn't know how to do this thing yet. Right? I don't care. Throw new, not implemented. I'm not doing anything with that one right now. I may end up disposing of it entirely. Save configuration for channel is going to be just the opposite of this. And it's going to complain that I need to... You should check to make sure that you actually have arguments for all of those things. That would be good design, Jeff. You need to have that. Fine. You need those guardrails. Whatever. Argument, null exception, name of config. Right now I've protected the method, because those are both required. Okay, next. We need to actually save this thing to disk. Blazer Mr. Magoo asks, can config file ever be null if you use first or default? Yes. It would be null if it can't find one. Yep. Because that's a file info. It's a reference type. It would come back as null. If it was a value type, it would be some value, right? If it was an int, it would come back, it'd be 0, right? Or if it was a Boolean, it'd come back, it'd be false. So, if this is running via containers... What's with the wow, Big Fat Elvis? Help me out. If this is running via containers, have you defined if you need persistent-based storage or it doesn't need to be saved? Oh, yeah. No. That's a very good point. If it's running via containers, you should map a folder for that configuration folder so it saves out somewhere on physical disk. Yes. So is this better or worse than file write all text? Well, that's what I'm going to write in here. Ultramark, you're getting right to it. I appreciate that. That's exactly where I'm going, dude. Well done, sir. Ultramark with the spoiler and You're
amazing. You figured this all out already.
You did. You figured this out already. So, let's do that. Yeah, it's C#8 that's raising that information. Even though I'm language version 7.3, there's C#8 features that are lit up that are being applied here, which kind of annoys me because I've said I don't want the null features here, but something has lit up. I think it's this one right here. that is checking those. We can figure out where they are and remove them later, but for right now, just let them ride. So I'm going to grab what Ultramark was suggesting there. File, write all text, JSON convert, serialize. Yeah. So the file I'm going to write to is, right, I need to identify that file. So storage folder, let's call this target file equals storage folder, right, get files, and it's that same syntax. Da, da, da. First or default. So now I could say if target file exists. Well, actually, it doesn't even matter if it exists. I'm getting the file. If it doesn't exist, right? This is still, it'll return to me. Oh no, wait a sec. This will be if it doesn't exist. I can say not equals null. Ooh, good catch. In this case, it'll It's a good question. I'm not sure which way it was going to be. I don't care if it doesn't exist. Right? And I thought there was a get file, right? Get a single file from a folder. No matter. So I'm going to assume that target file is an object here.
Do we really want to assume that?
Yes, we do. I'm going to. So what I'll do is I'll say, target file. I'm not going to be able to do write all text. I need a file writer. Open write. No. Right, I would need a stream writer. Yeah. Equals new stream writer, right? Path, there it is. Target file dot full name gives the full path to end directory. Good. So now I'll be able to say writer dot, where'd it go? Write all text. It's not write all text, but I'm going to do write. I'm going to pass in that string, and it's going to be JSON convert serialize object, and the object, which is the config. Writer dot flush. Better put this in a using so that it gets disposed. Right? In C#, whenever, and .NET in general, whenever we use an unmanaged resource, something that accesses the network or the file system, right? It's going to have a system resource that's unmanaged and managing that specific thing, right? That unmanaged resource that's doing that, you need to dispose of. You need to tell .NET, release your access on this so that the operating system can dispose of that. So we need to release it by wrapping this in a using statement that will eventually call dispose. And dispose is how in .NET we typically say release .NET, release access to this thing. Well, the shortcut instead of using dispose here is you can use, just like I did up here, these using statements, which automatically, when you get to the end of that block, whatever has been referenced to be using here, it will, behind the scenes, right, implicitly for you, call dispose when processing hits this curly brace. Stelzy asks, do I have the serialize attribute on channel configuration? I thought I did, but let's double check. I do not. Let's make sure that's on there. The serializable attribute indicates that a class can be serialized. Jeff, what's serialization mean? I'm so glad you asked. Serialization is the process where we'll take an object, in this case our channel configuration, and turn it into a representation that can be stored or transported. Typically a set of strings, but it can be some binary format as well. The binary formats are not safe to deserialize from because you don't know what you're going to get. Thank you for the follow, Outlie. I appreciate you joining us. So when you serialize something, you're taking it from an object, like this channel configuration, and you're going to turn it into a collection of strings. And there are different serializers that'll create things in different formats. When you deserialize something, you take it from that collection of strings, in our case JSON format, and turn it back into one of these objects. So we're going to, where'd it go? Over here, serialize this object, turn it into that collection of strings in JSON format, write it into our file, flush it, make sure that it finishes, write that stuff to disk, and because we're in a using statement, dispose here. File write all text, static method. Given how small these files are, can't you just read all lines, write all text, and you don't need the 4 usings? You're not wrong. So if we do that, then we still need the path. Okay. Right, so if I do it this way, rats, put it there, and the contents are this. Yeah, sure, this makes it a heck of a lot simpler. And we're not setting up and disposing things. Sure, and I can do the same thing up here, right? Right, I can do file read all text from that target file name. Right, and I can say deserialize object channel configuration. At which point I can just say return that. Right. And this should be config file. That works. Sure. Why am I using the serializable attribute? JSON.NET does not require it. While it doesn't, at some point in the future, I'm going to serialize this, perhaps with other technologies, and it'll be a heck of a lot easier to have it in place from the get-go. So, remember coming to C# from VB.NET back in .NET 3.5. The helper methods like that in the my namespace were something you missed. Yeah. Okay, so I have a very simple file storage that will save and get configuration from disk. We're going to want to make sure that our configuration folder is writable. Not a concern right now, but I don't expect this facility to get into too much of a production space. Let me go over to startup, and in startup, where'd it go? Here we go. iChannel configuration context, channel configuration context. I'm going to turn this into a scoped request. And this is going to be a file storage channel configuration request. Now, right, I've swapped everything out, so the way that we store and we retrieve and we interact with channel configuration is being done with the file system instead of that in memory. All right. Next, I need a way to be able to create that configuration, and I need to be able to define our feature configuration that we're going to make available. So we have screen widgets. We started defining chat room, and here's our chat room feature that we started to define, and we're stepping away from slightly just because I think the follower, this follower train, this user train, let's just call it the train widget, the activity train. File write all text overwrites even if the file already exists. That's okay. I think that's okay for what we're doing here. For this simple interaction that we're doing right now, I'm okay with that. So, Zabra, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Let me know. In what we're writing a multi-tenant chatbot that has user interface widget features that can be configured per channel that subscribes and joins into our service. We've been working on the configuration and how it should be stored and retrieved. For right now, to get us off the ground, we have a channel configuration context that's defined with just this interface contract, right? Get the configuration for a channel, save the configuration for a channel. And we've got a simple implementation that'll just go into... actually, that's the wrong folder. Storage folder, here we go. It's coming out of the configuration folder, and it's going to go get a file called c#fritz.json, whatever the channel name is. Load that up and return that as the channel configuration, and eventually when we click save, it'll save whatever that channel configuration is into c#fritz.json. That's not too bad. So, we need to define and add that feature configuration as an object somewhere, and we need to start defining pages to allow channel owners to define their configuration. You're welcome, Zabra. Ooh, there we go. Whiteland92 asks, what software am I using for the closed captions? That is a plugin for OBS that was written by Rat with a Compiler. There's a link in the chat room. Circle83. Suggestions for a C# Discord. There is a C# guild on Discord that folks have been... and I was a member of it, but there was so much activity there that I just couldn't pay attention to. The C#... Is this it? I think this is it. The C# guild. Yeah, this is it. It's an open... It's in... I'm not sure. If you look up the C# Discord server, that is a guild of C# developers with a very, very large Discord. Almost 7,000 folks out there. Forget the W, just say Zabra. Works for me. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us. But yeah, that should get you pointed in the right direction on that. All right. Looking good. So this will read and save. I want to start creating that user interface that'll allow me to read and save these configurations. The channel configuration does get passed, so we're using the actor model with Akka here. When our channel manager, this is the top level of our hierarchy of actors. It gets passed in that channel configuration context. In this case, it'll be that file storage context. When we receive a command to join a channel, this get channel actor, where it'll go figure out, is there an actor for that channel? Create one. The data context, that channel configuration context, get configuration for the channel requested. Create a channel actor for that channel, right? The name of that channel, C# Fritz, and kick it off. Start it running. And it passes in that configuration right here. So the channel actor, in its initialization, receives the channel configuration, which will be coming from disk, and it's off and running. So what I also need to be able to do here is I also need to be able to receive a channel configuration update. You know? Which begs the question, do I have a channel configuration actor that knows how to send that message to the channel actor with the update? Right? Which right now I'm thinking, oh, am I getting overacted? Am I overacting? Overacting, is that the word to use?
Are these really the questions that I was called here to answer?
Yes, Jack, you were. Is it overacting? Do I need, or can I send that message into the actor system directly and let it be processed? Oh my gosh, Blazer Mr. Magoo, are you serious? This weekend there's reports, for those of you that are watching sometime in the future, Hurricane Dorian is making landfall in the Bahamas, and it's being recorded as the strongest hurricane on record. Oh dear Lord. Oh, more power to everybody there in the southeast United States in the hurricane path. It is kicked up to a category 5. Oh my goodness. Weather Channel right now is reporting 180 miles per hour for the storm. Well, that's as of 11 a.m. That's from an hour ago. But it's going to make landfall on the east coast of Florida and skip up the southeast into Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. It should die off before it gets into North Carolina. Oh my goodness. Batten down the hatches there, friends in Florida. Best of luck to you riding this out. Hope you get over to the western side of the state where it's going to be a little bit safer, it looks like. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. This weather report brought to you by... No, not doing that. Move your AWS stuff out of US East 1. Well, US East 1, isn't that in Virginia? One of the ones where they have a little bit more of a problem. Stelzy says, a Tenant channel configuration actor would be more into tune of the actor way of doing things. So a channel configuration manager, right, channel configuration actor would live off of the channel manager actor and could receive and do those things and pass information back and forth. It is category 5 storm now, yeah. Code it for updated, then treat the first load as another update and you get 2 for the price of 1. Don't know about that. Devil Try 1. Welcome, Devil Try. This is not Orleans, this is Aka.net that we're using. Okay, so let's create an actor with appropriate messages to send updates, to receive the update, to send the update. that there is a channel update. Thinking about it. Let's start with the actor and we'll figure out how it plugs in. So this is a channel configuration actor. And this will be a receive actor. Okay. I feel like this should receive and hold the channel configuration context. And this is the one that should do the saving and the updating. You know? Let's get our using statement. That way, right, all the interactions with this happen in one place. Yeah. So we're going to receive an I channel configuration context. Cool. I'm going to store a copy of that. No, that's not how I want to do that. In a field. There we go. And it feels like there are two things that we're going to receive. Right? We're going to receive some sort of a get configuration for channel message. Right? Get configuration for channel. And I think we're also going to receive some sort of a save configuration for channel message. Let's call it the same thing. Right? These should be methods, and these should be messages. Teaching kids programming. Oh, that's a cool link. Oh, actually, hang on. That course you're looking at, Rambling Geek. Nope, that's not who I thought it is. Huh. I thought that was a course from a friend of mine, a colleague. It is not. The closed captioning is pretty amazing, says Pac-Man Jr. Surprised how well it does. That's actually, the closed captioning that you're seeing is coming off of Google, is who's providing those features. I did have a little bit of a push for some folks at Microsoft to make that, but they passed on the opportunity. Okay, get configuration for channel. Get configuration for channel. So this is a message that we'll be passing in. This will need to be serializable because it will need to go across boundary. And here's another instance where our object, our configuration object, will need to be serializable because when this message gets passed, the return message for the configuration, it needs to include that configuration and be serializable. These OneDrive notifications that I get. Somebody's editing this file. I'm like, they're working at 9 a.m. on Sunday of Labor Day weekend? All right. When you get the configuration of the channel, we're going to want the channel name to get the configuration of. I'm going to create an initialized property. There it is. Done. Because it's a sealed class. That's all it needs to do. We're also going to need right, that other class was save configuration for channel. Let's turn that into a using statement. This. Okay. And I'm going to be passed the channel name and the channel configuration to save. Save both of these as properties so they can be accessed. This needs to be serializable. And we'll move this into its own file. Finally, we need to actually respond with the configuration for channel. Well, no, we don't need to, because it'll just be a respond to it. So Lannon, you should be able to move the closed captioning around. Closed caption options. Background. Oh no, you can't. Yeah, position. Bottom or top. And the alignment, center, left, whatever. It's not too bad. Okay, so I have the get configuration, the save configuration. Part of me thinks that we should start organizing this a little bit, but I'm not going to get too wrapped up just yet. These I want to be methods. Yep, generate method. Generate method. There we go. So what's it going to do when we're asked to get the configuration for the channel? Let's call this config. No, message. Because that's a message that we're being passed. So from here, we've been asked this. We need to tell the sender what that is. So the config, we should be able to say, right, context, get configuration for channel, message, channel name. And we're going to return that. So we're going to say context dot sender, right, because that's who asked. Thank you for the follow, Summer Boss. Appreciate you joining us. Azure East US is in Virginia also, but you're right. It's going to be tricky. RGX attempts, actually, if you run the project command like that, there you go. There's a link to the repository we're in. Context.sender dot send dot tell I guess. Yeah. And the message we're going to tell them is that config, which isn't really a message, but it's serializable. It's an object. It's the payload that we're returning. There you go. How's it going, Summer Boss? Welcome to the channel. All right, when we get a save configuration, here's where we're going to need to notify folks. Right, we're going to have to send a notification out to the channel itself, right? The channel manager actor over here manages the various channels, and I can get a reference to this. I thought I put a static on here so I could reference it, right? Where is it? I didn't. That's a problem. Oh, that's better. That was bothering me. That was really bothering me. Because this is going to be a singleton. There's only ever going to be one channel manager actor. So there's this create method here. What if I create a public read-only one? Right? What if I did this? Like that. Well, it's read-only. Fine. So, right, if I can change this to instance equals. What do you think? So now what I should be able to do from over here, save is going to be context, save configuration for channel. The channel name is message channel name. The configuration that I'm passing back is message config. So that's being saved. Thank you for the follow. Smiles and Tea. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome. I gotta find a good sound effect. Hold on. Please hold. It's so great to see you. Everything is awesome. Smiles and Teas are one of our latest members of the Live Coders team. They're working on websites and building a game on their channel. Can I get a shout out for Smiles and Tea? And yeah, it's so great to see you. Thanks for the hi guys emotes. Fine, I'll do the shout out. There we go. So drop Smiles and Tea a follow, and you'll have a fun time over there. They're doing great things. Not a problem that you're not following me. Not a problem at all. So after we save the configuration for the channel in this actor, we need to send notification that, hey, whatever channel it is, whatever channel actor is actually managing that channel, we need to notify it. There's an update to the configuration, and here's the configuration. So I think... Do I have a notify channel of update message that contains the same things, I think, as this, right? Ooh, can we cheat? Can we cheat at this? I think we might be able to cheat. I'm gonna cheat. Let's do that. Notify channel of configuration update. Check this out. Check this out. Watch this. Huh? Huh? Is that good? So it does the exact same thing. Has the same stuff. Yeah, I cheated there. It does the same thing. Ah, rats. I need to generate a constructor. Alright, fine. Does the same thing. Boom. Huh? Move that. Sure, move it to its own file. We like every class in its own file here in C#. So now what I could do is, right, I could say channel manager actor instance. Hey, I didn't click you. Fat fingered that caps lock key, which I have set up to, I have set up to trigger PowerShell for me. I'm going to tell it a new notify channel of configuration update, but I don't even have to do that, right? I should be able to just cast notify channel of configuration update my message, right? Now that message, because it implements the exact same thing, is a notify channel of configuration update object, which I can then pass that message into my channel actors, and there it is. It knows what to do. Sonar Gano, hello, hello. Yes, it is a nice Sunday. Thank you for tuning in. I need a nope, nope, nope. Why? When I've got that one. There's no receive actor in the repo. Is it new? What is it? Receive actor is from Akka. It's a base object. It's to be determined. Whatever. It's a thing. It's a thing. Let's see. What's going on? What's going on? Anything happening? Did I miss? Did I? Nope. We're good. All right. So the receive actor is just an actor that can receive messages. And we're using a ton of receive actors all over the place here. So after we save the configuration for the channel, then we're going to tell the channel manager actor, hey, notify the channel there is a configuration update. And the message includes both the channel and the configuration. So I'm going to go back over to the channel manager actor. And I'm going to, in the construction here, teach it how to receive, what was it called? This type of update message and tell it what to do with it. I want to tell you what you can do with that. Yeah. update channel with configuration. That feels like a good name for a method. So I'll control dot, generate that method, and F12 over to it, because F12 goes to definition, so here it is. So I have that. I should be able to look at my collection of actors. Message dot channel name. So now I've got that actor, and I can tell that actor my message. So I'm forwarding it along to the appropriate actor to be able to receive and actually do something with it. So let me go over to channel actor now, and we're going to, that's not right, receive that same notification, and I'm going to cheat here. I'm going to totally cheat here. Right? Yeah. I'm just going to say this dot config equals config. Boom, done. Here's the problem. I need to do this. Get that. Okay. Actually, I should be able to just say like that. Yeah, get rid of this. Okay. So why doesn't it like that? Oh, it's read-only. Because now we can receive updates to our config. And done. That was easy. So now I've got my configuration now being able to be passed from this channel configuration actor, right? So it'll be passed into the channel manager actor where it'll find the appropriate channel and set the new configuration over there. That's pretty cool. That works. So this way, as I add more configuration and our users save configuration in the user interface, they'll reach into the channel configuration actor, which we've still got to figure out where it's going to hang, and send a message that says, save the configuration for this channel. Now, how do they get access to this actor? Do they just reach into the system and say, do this thing? Admiral Kier, hello, welcome. Mesh, thanks so much for the sub. Yeah, Mesh7S, subscribing with your Twitch Prime. Thank you so much. Look at all the emotes. We'll make a donation to Coder Dojo, and you're going to get 17 emotes that you can use on this channel, anywhere else on Twitch as well. Thanks so much for bringing your Twitch Prime here. Of course, Twitch Prime you activate with your Amazon Prime subscription. If you have Amazon Prime, just click the link above to connect to your Twitch account, and you'll get one channel you can use anywhere you'd like on Twitch if you choose to use that with me. Thank you so much. It'll remove the commercials just like it does on every other channel. You'll get 17 emotes, all kinds of fun tech-themed emotes, and I make that donation to Coder Dojo. Thank you very much for that. Admiral Kier says, I have a problem for learning patterns. I can't learn IOC container and dependency injection. We have a bit of that here. I will show you what that looks like in just a second. Quoting Mark, that's a good idea. A little sketch drawing might be useful. That's not a bad idea at all. I was actually thinking about that, putting something together. That's borderline, that name. Is that Kentucky Smooth? Let me know. Thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. I try to be careful with some folks' names. I want to make sure that they're family friendly. So, thank you. let me answer the question about dependency injection and inversion of control containers first, and then... Oh, I said it.
And then?
I'll open up PowerPoint and we can draw a diagram here that we can save with this to make it a little bit easier for folks to be able to pick up what we're doing here. Here we go. So dependency injection is this concept that when you create a class, in this case the channel configuration class, this channel configuration actor class, you have a dependency defined in this constructor because it depends on, you must create this class with some sort of an iConfiguration context object that's being passed in. That dependency is required in order to build this. So this is dependency injection. It's being injected, it's being provided at the time that you construct the class. We then store that in a private read-only variable up here on line 13. So we've stored our copy of this thing that we depend on. In this case, the channel configuration actor has some methods to save configuration and get configuration that it'll delegate over to that context where it'll do whatever it's supposed to do on disk, with a database, whatever. In memory, I don't know. Meant to be a play on words based on your first name. Not a problem there, KY Smooth. So, or is it Kai? Let me know. Dorian hit the Bahamas with sustained 180 mile an hour winds. Ooh, ouch. My brother-in-law runs a fishing charter out to the Bahamas. So, right, we're delegating, and we very much depend on having this context available to interact with. So there are other ways to inject dependencies, not just, this is called constructor dependency, but you can also have property. This is constructor injection. You can also have property injection, where you have a property that this is passed into. That allows you to construct your object elsewhere and inject those dependencies as a secondary action. It's preferred usually to put your dependencies in the constructor so that they're required at creation time of your objects. So this is very much a object-oriented design pattern for your classes. Now, when you have dependency injection, inversion of control containers, this is dependency injection. An inversion of a control container is something like what we have up here in ASP.NET in our startup class. Webface.
Webface_CA just subscribe.
Thanks so much for that sub. And I'll make another donation to Coder Dojo. I really appreciate the subs today, friends. Thank you so much for that. Dependency injection, inversion of control container. I'm mixing up the two terms because they go together. Inversion of control containers are configured here in ASP.NET in this configure services method. In this case, we do things.
KY Smooth just subscribed.
Thank you so much for the sub. And I'll make another donation to Coder Dojo. When we look down here, we have our these things that are being added to services. This is adding things that should be configured and available for dependency injection. We're inverting control. We're letting something else create our objects. So here, this is where we're defining something, right? These are all methods that come with the framework that are defining and doing IOC configuration for us, inversion of control container configuration for us. But down here, add scoped, add singleton, these are defining things that we've written that we need to configure that'll be created for us specifically using the IOC container. So, for example, right, we're saying, don't worry about add scoped. That's it's hard to have a circular reference here. That we're defining that when a channel configuration context object is needed, we're going to provide this object a file storage channel configuration context. This is an IOC configuration. If this is requested like it is here, right, it needs this type, which is an interface. It's not a concrete type. Provide this concrete type. So when it goes to create objects, it'll provide that appropriately. Similarly, down here, services add singleton, right? So here, channel manager actor create, it needs, we're going to create an actor ref that's going to be a channel manager actor, right? Because create returns one of those. And it has these options for it. Not bad. That's not too bad at all. So we're inverting control. We're telling it this is how to configure those things. Which container is this? Asks Admiral Kier. This is the default container that comes with ASP.NET Core. It's fast enough for our needs. There are other more sophisticated IOC container libraries that you can use. For what we're doing here, this is adequate. We're still at minimum viable. We're not tweaking and tuning this significantly yet. We can replace this later, and this configuration will just work if we swap in and add more complicated configuration with a different container library. So that's what this is doing. Now my channel configuration actor is over here. I need to actually create this thing and make it available from the channel manager actor, which is, so right, I have a follower actor here. I need to have that channel configuration actor, right? So let's call this channel configuration actor. Yeah. New channel configuration actor, and I need to pass it now the data context that was requested. There we go. And I'll create one of these. There it is. Sure, let's make it a read-only field. Now, further down here, when I created the channel actors, right, I'm accessing that data context directly here. I should, at this point, have this go and ask the channel configuration actor for the configuration. I should delegate it over there. You're welcome, Admiral Kier. Happy to explain and walk through that briefly for you. Let me come back to that RGX attempts. Okay. So, I should delegate this. I'm going to put a to-do on this because it's not... that's being dogmatic with the architecture. Delegate to the channel configuration actor. Not delegate. Ask the channel configuration actor for this configuration. And actually, this shouldn't be one of those. It should be an iActor ref. So that it's loosely referenced, and I'm not actually... It's a receive actor. Why doesn't it like it? Oh, you know what? Because I need to do context actor of with the properties coming in. Where is it? So let's do that. Props create, and I need to give it. Yep. So now I can say system. Oh, this should be context. Right? Context? Yep. Actor of. Like that. Cool. Now I've got a channel configuration actor. Oh, thank you, Robert Tables, for sharing the Discord. Yes, yes, yes. All right, so now I have my channel configuration actor. off to the side and I can interact with that. What I'm looking at down here, right? This, right? The actor way of doing this would be to say something like channel configuration actor ask, because it'll return an object, right? New get channel. Get channel configuration for channel, and the channel name is this. Yeah, right, because this will return a configuration. It doesn't know that that's what it is, right? A channel. That's not how you spell configuration. One of those. Right? Channel actor props. Channel configuration. Why doesn't it think that's a channel? Oh, it's I need to do this asynchronously. I could make this an async task, but it feels weird, I think. Yeah. Well, actually, can I make this async? No. No. Okay, I think we're okay there. Right, that would be the... Let's leave it that way. See how it goes. All right. So now when we start up a new channel, it's going to get the configuration from the channel configuration actor object. Okay. So, to some of the folks that have used Akka, this is where I'm going to be a little confused. When I'm on... Right, when I'm on a page, I already have this report current channels method here. I'm going to get the configuration for a channel, output it on the page, and I also want to be able to save it. How do I reference that from outside of the actor system? Do you follow? Come on. Oh, you stink. You make me sad. iPhone. What happened here? Oh, nice. Love getting spam on my phone. All right. Let's see. Where do I go next? So, you're right. So, how do I interact outside of the actor system from the user interface? Right? This is something that I'm struggling with here. How do we do that? How do we do that interaction? No. Here. UUIDs? No. No. Right, there's all this stuff for how to interact. Right, but how do I actually reach from outside in and tell it, okay, go start doing something. Go do this thing. You know? I have all these, right, the business logic of this thing all interacting with each other. But... right? I'm not doing event sourcing here. That's really not a thing we need to do. Yeah, how do I build a user interface on top of this? Yep, I'm on getaka.net. This is where I'm at. So I'm going to pass them in. Right, I'm going to pass. How actors are identified and located. What is an actor reference? See, I'm not going to have the actor reference or the actor path. No. An actor system is typically started by creating actors beneath the guardian actor using the actor system actor of method. Looking up actors by concrete path, absolute versus relative paths. Since the actor system forms a file system-like hierarchy, matching on paths is possible. See, do I need to... Do I need to know the path to my configuration actor so that I can pass that in? Or can I just tell the actor system, here's a message, go figure it out? Right? I mean, I guess there's a easy way to do this, right? I can go over, go back to startup, right? So this adds and creates the actor system. Right, channel manager actor creates the entire thing and passes it on. If I ask for an actor ref, and I tell it and it doesn't know how to receive it, does it route it somewhere else? Right, I'm not quite sure I understand how that routing. Right here, routers. Router is a special type of actor whose job is to route messages to other actors called routees. Go figure. Different routers use different strategies to route messages differently. Okay. Shows how to deploy 5 workers using a round-robin router. Same router may be defined using deployment configuration. Pools versus groups. You have the router actor create its routees. It is desirable. Well, I kind of know where to route the message to. I'm questioning whether I need to define all of these receive and route tables in my top level object. See, I don't care about no. Yeah, this documentation is great about the internals of how to get the actors to communicate with each other. But I'm outside of it. I'm in a user interface. How do I send that first message in that says, okay, go do this thing? And that's where I'm confused. Communication of failure, rules for in-app local message. Yeah, I'm inside the app interacting. How do I get a message into the system? The system? Right, I mean, can I say actor system? Well, it's created. Okay. So, right. let's say we have that. Right. I can say actor of dead letters, dispatchers, add JSON protocol. Okay. Event stream. What's event stream? I don't know what that is. Gets the event stream. Gee, go figure. Settings, start time, stop, terminate. Yeah, I can't ask here. I can get an actor of some type. Does that always... Right? Does that... It's not going to tell me. Yeah, look at that. That's helpful. Please, QQ Moore asks, why did I choose Akka over Orleans? Akka is what the folks that were in stream suggested I use. So, so that was why we chose Akka. It's also community driven, so that feels good. That's a good reason to choose that. At least for some of my goals here. But like I said, it's not clear to me how I get a message. Oh gosh, no, I do not want to mix. Oh, that would be rough. Right, let's go back on documentation. Top level architecture, device actor. Okay, so this is their demo. This is their tutorial on the website. So it's got these two messages. Here's the actor that's gonna on stop and start log some information. Reading and writing. But where's it actually starting to reach in and interact with it?
And then?
Well, and then once it starts writing and interacting with it, right, we can build our user interface. It's not clear to me where that is. What is going to be my UI? Web pages, yes. Yep. It is. It's very much like opening an early version of BizTalk and saying, okay, now what? Yeah, this is another actor. I'm not an actor at this point. I'm a web page. I'm a component. How do I reach in and kick that off? Virtual Bill, thank you for the follow. I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. No, it's not. So that's a collection of devices, but devices are themselves actors. How do I build the user interface that goes in front of this thing? Right? I need to know, how do I tap in? Yeah. The use case and deployment scenarios. Right. Some web framework should be used. Yes. It's... Okay. All right. Start remoting on build. Actor system create. Service 1, service 2. Console recreate. Okay, here we go. As with the main point, here is keeping a static reference to the actor system. Got that. Interactions. Okay, so if there's a post, MVC application my actor. Well, how does it know the actor? That's the top level actor. Ask, new message. So it is. It's getting a reference to the top level actor and passing in that request. Look at that. Azure worker roles. Ooh, that's old. Okay. So this is telling me that I need to be able to handle all of those message types at the top level and pass them appropriately, forward them appropriately to other actors as needed. Which means I'm going to end up building a routing table effectively in my channel manager actor. Does that feel right? Creating a sort of routing table for these things? As somebody who's not familiar with this, I kind of agree, iWatcher. That feels a little much. Right? What do you think there, chat room? I mean, I can receive, right from startup, I can receive the iActor ref, which will give me the channel manager actor, and I can ask it messages and let it forward and respond appropriately. I can do that. And we're about an hour over. You can call appropriate actor every time you need it. Well, I would need to find that actor, right? So if I have, so there's my index page. If I have a configuration page, components, pages. So the current channel, this is the current channels. That should probably be current channels, shouldn't it? But if I have a channel configuration page, right? Yep, new item. Web, Razor component, channel configuration. There we go. And, right? Is it inherits or implements? Inherits. No. Now, if I hit space, it's going to give me that. I need to escape. Channel configuration model. That doesn't do nothing. Now I got a thing. And what is it? This is a component model. What's the name of it? It is a component base. Okay. And we'll get the using statement. So now I have one of these. This needs to answer on a page. That will be a configuration. And if you're an admin, you're going to need to be able to specify what channel you're requesting. Come back on that later. Actor defined. What's actor defined? If you're handling all the routing, what exactly is ACA doing for you other than some generic base classes? I agree, Simon. I kind of agree. What is actor defined? No. Help me out here. I don't want to be handling the routing. I want to be able to reach in, right, and tell it, here's my message, go find it. You figure out what to do with this. right? Where'd it go? Yeah, this. I'm not quite sure about that, right? Because I'm going to go over here and in my channel configuration model, right? I'm going to override on initialized. Make it async. I'm going to have a public channel configuration property. I'm going to need to receive that top level, which is going to be a public iActor ref, and we'll call this channel manager actor. Let's just call it channel manager. Okay. So now I should be able to say configuration equals channel manager ask. I want to get back a channel configuration. New get channel, get configuration for channel. That's what it was. And I need to give it the name of the channel. The name of the channel is going to be whoever's logged in. Whoever's logged in. First off, we can force that with an attribute authorize. Right? Authorize, authorized. Yeah, authorize. Now, why is that in bold? Expects a C# attribute. Yeah, I know. Hey, Electric Havoc. Right. Laser component authorize. Right. Because I want to pull your username off of that. Right. Page inject. No. No. Authorize view component. No. Yeah, authorize attribute. Oh, it needs to be in the square brackets. Well, that's a little funny, but all right. Right, so now I can do, so if you're authorized, that means I know the user. Come on. Visual Basic Application Services. Huh? No. Oh, you make me sad. System. Really? It's not here? Really? Where is the authorize attribute? Microsoft ASP.NET Core authorization. Microsoft. How you like them apples? Go away, little red line. Shoot. Thank you. All right. Let's see. What do we got? So I should be able to reference the user. Yes, West Coast people don't wake up before 10 a.m. They're funny like that. So I should have access to the user, right? No. So once I have authorize, yeah, I could put roles and those kinds of things up there. But I need to receive that. Who's that user? Right there. Authenticated task authentication state. To obtain the user's claims principal. All right. So let's receive that. Oh, but I need to put that over here somewhere. Can I do that? Does that work? I think that works. So then we have a public... Right, user is going to be a... It's a public something user. Right, so if I... This is a... what? It's a claims principal. Alright. So I've got that as the user. Why isn't it like awaiting it? Consider configure await. Oh, you... Okay, still wants me. Consider calling configure await. Pain in my neck. So the channel name that we're going to receive is going to be user.identity.name, because your name is your channel name. Yes, and we can await on that one as well. Cool. So now I've got both the user and I've got your configuration. Hey, Intelligent Whaley. We are setting up to be able to manage... I don't need to return here. To be able to manage configuration for folks that are going to use our distributed chatbot here. So it's a little bit more complex. And we're building our configuration page using Blazor server-side. Well, I don't know if... Yeah, I'm getting the user right there. I think we're okay. Sometimes you miss http context.user. Nah, don't need it. I think we're almost ready here. This feels weird. Get configuration for channel off the channel manager. Right? Because now I'm setting up a router that says, here's all the things that you need to be able to receive and route to other folks as external messages being passed in. That doesn't feel right. That really doesn't feel right. That this becomes an overall router that knows how to fan out those messages that could be received and delegated to anywhere in this application. You know? I feel like we should do some research on that because I'm not positive of that. You know? So tell you what, I'm gonna put a to-do here. Receive the get channel. Well, let's just write it real quick. Get channel, get configuration for channel. And we're just going to delegate that to... Right? And how do I send that message back? Right? I would say channel configuration actor ask for channel configuration, and we're passing the message along. We're literally forwarding it, but it's going to come back to us, and we're going to return config. Can I do that? I can't do that. Yeah. Right? So I'm going to have to say sender dot tell the config. And that's the response to send out. I think that's what I need to do there. Thank you for the follow, Intelligent Whaley. I think that's where I'm going to call it here. We need to do a bit of testing on this to make sure these things work. I need to check all this stuff into source control. So let's clean up. We'll set up to do some unit testing and some validation on this next time. There's my console. Because I want to build this user interface to start saving and persisting that configuration to disk. And then we'll start building the widget that interacts with it. Feels like I adopted a hairy yak. No. So let's add all the changes that we made. Wrote interfaces to read and write channel configuration to disk as JSON documents. And each one of those documents is appropriate for each channel. There we go. I'll push that out to my repository out on GitHub so you can take a look and interact with those. There we go. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I really appreciate you joining me today. I'll be back on Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. I'll be in the mornings for the next few weeks, and we will have an interview Tuesday afternoon. Check out the schedule, where we'll be recording .NET Rocks podcast with Carl and Richard, and streaming it together, so you'll have a chance to ask some questions as well. Our topic will be Blazor for web forms developers. Really, really cool stuff. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining in. Let's set up a raid, and I've got a raid target for you. Let's go support our friends in the creative community. We are going to set up the raid. There it is. If you're a subscriber, grab the first comment out of chat. If you're not, grab the second comment out of chat, copy it onto the clipboard, and we are going to raid Quiltoni. She's at DragonCon right now playing Cosplay Bingo. You can check out all the action. You can see what's happening there on the floor of DragonCon. They're having a great time over there. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in today. And I will see you Tuesday back here. Thanks so much. And this video, like all my other videos, I'm going to have a massive push this afternoon. We're going to send some videos over to YouTube and the archive. All right? Take care, everybody. I'll be back on Tuesday. See ya.